Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D. Well, Yu-Gi-Oh! How do I say this? Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. Just want to show you some guys, some tricks of my deck. As you saw, well, you didn't get to see it before the broadcast started, but I put a spell card down just so he used that monster's ability to get rid of it. If things come down, his attack goes down. Okay, now I can take the lead here. Let's see if he's gonna stop me with a trap card. No trap yet. Okay, I'm gonna come up to him. He's gonna protect it. Right now, I just took the lead. Well, it's not like I didn't have the lead before, but you understand what I'm saying. He's forced to switch all his cards into the defense position. And there goes the card I'm going for. I can't use it until I get his damn spellcasters off my field. Ah, another Mirror Force maybe? Oh, Mirror Force is one person using a deck. Damn. Mirror Force gets old. People are weird. Mirror Force really gets old. Right now my spell counter will be at 2. See, he keeps attacking those little guys because he expects me to like forget to switch them into the defense position. See, yeah, the game's over now. See, now, I was just waiting for one card this entire duel, and the crazy part is I just drew it. So now I can do whatever I fucking feel like it right now. And honestly, I'm gonna go with this play because it's fun. Because if he stops it and destroys it, I got 2 special summons coming. Now, as you witnessed, I could have won either way. I could have won with Arrowhead Shark, or I could have won with DDD Dynamite. My deck is all set up to where if one card doesn't show up, there's always something else to do. I just need to get his life points a little lower from 31 to 700 or anything below 1000. But once I drew DD Dynamite, it didn't matter which way I did it, honestly. Alright, let's see the next one here. Oh wait, let me show you guys something real quick first. Oh, this is what my deck consists of. Like, okay, if you want to make the perfect Chaos deck, this is what you're gonna need, honestly. Perfect Chaos deck. I use 3 field spells because, honestly, with 3 field spells, it's easier, man. It really is easier. You're gonna get one, point blank period. Now, if you ever get a hand where you have Golden Sarcophagus and Chaos Zone and Soul Absorption on the field, you're set, man. Use this card to send Necroface, the key star player of this deck. Send him to the remove from play zone. That's 5 cards you're sending now. That's gonna get removed, plus himself. So that's 6 cards total that's gonna get removed from the game. Now, with this on the field, for every monster that gets removed, if you look at the deck, the majority of my deck is monsters. So it's gonna be monsters, most likely. That'd be at least 4 or 5 counters on your side. Now don't forget that Necroface also removes cards from their side as well. So that's 5 cards in their deck. Now let's say if you're going against, for example, Gogenzaka, who only runs monsters mostly, and a few spells. Yeah, you just got 5 at least, and I want to say at least between 5 to 9 counters on your shit, man. And then let's say if Necroface, when you send him, he sends the other Necroface. That's 10 cards on each side, plus the 1 Necros you already sent. So that's 11 cards total. Then if you had this on the field, that's 5,000 for the first one, then another 5,000, and then 500 for the one. Come on, man. Your life points would literally be overwhelming. Like I've had like I had 43,100 life points, and it was incredible. I could have done nothing. He only had 3 cards in his deck. I could have just said fuck it and ended my turn and let him keep attacking, and I still would have been in the duel with 3 attacks from this nigga. Still, 3 attacks each turn, and I still would have been in the duel. But I chose to use Necroface again because I had Chaos Zone on the field. Use Necroface again, and boom, empty this deck. I could have killed him. I could have let him do whatever, but I let him hand destruction and deck destruction. Like, yo, I only use 2 of these because you don't want to have these cards in your hand and then no other cards. Now this is a card, for example, where you like them people who like to use Call of Hunted or Monster Reborn, even though it's banned, but or Premature Burial, and that's banned as well, or monster abilities that allow them to come back from the graveyard. Well, boom, Big Burn will remove all monsters in every person's graveyard from play. That right there is sick. Okay, that is sick. That's why you only need 1 of these shits, because you don't want to use it at the wrong time. You want it to come up when you need it, and it will come up. I promise you, it will come up when you need it. If you do this deck the way I have this deck set up, with 58 cards in my deck, I think it's 59. I can't read that number. 59 or 58 cards in my deck. You'll see. This is the way to do it. Oh, then there's this. Send the top 5 cards of your deck to the grave. If you already have Dimensional Fissure or, for example, Banisher of the Radiance or Banisher of the Light on the field, and you activate Needlebug Nest, you could say goodbye to 5 of your cards, but you can also say goodbye to 5 of the cards that you need to be removed. Let's say you have Go to Homunculus in your deck, right? For example, Go to Homunculus, he's in your deck. Then what you gonna do? Go to Homunculus in your deck. You're basically, he's not in your deck. I mean, he's in your hand, and you got both of them in your hand. Ah, man, this big ass monster's in my hand, and I got nothing else. And let's say Chaos Hunter's in your hand as well. You have no sacrifices right now. Well, boom. Let's say you activate that while you had that on the field or that on the field. And let's say you send both of these to the remove from play area. Boom. At the end of your turn, they're coming right back. Okay? Let's say your opponent had he was already stuck in a stalemate in the first place. He had no cards in his hand, or let's say he was out of he's out of a play. You're ready. Your play is set. He only has 1 monster. He doesn't summon another one. You still have another sacrifice. 1, and if he special summons, boom, you have him now. Yeah, it says your opponent can't banish, so only you. So if your opponent has cards like Dimensional Prison on the field, he can't do it. If your opponent tries to use this card, Dark Core, on you, he can't do it. Any cards that your opponent uses that will try to banish your cards, he can't do it. For example, if your opponent uses a Dark deck and he wants to use Allure of the Darkness, he can't do it. Or let's say your opponent checks out your deck the first time you face him and you try to face him again for a rematch and he tries to copy your deck. Yeah, you get that on the field and he's fucked. You basically fucked his entire deck. But you're okay. I fought people who tried to copy my deck and they've lost, sadly. Like, they've lost. You need 3 of these and you need 3 Wyvern Busters. Because I'm telling you, man, when one gets killed, the other one comes. As long as your opponent doesn't activate Bottomless Trap Hole and sends them to the remove from play, you're straight. And even if he does, when Necroface is removed from play and you can get it back somehow, if you get him back, I promise you, when you get Necroface back, all 3 of those copies of each of those cards are coming back to your deck. So let's say you draw back Wyvern Buster. He actually kills Necroface. Remove Necroface from play, activate Wyvern Buster's ability, summon him, boom. Necroface's ability activates now. That's 5 more cards leaving the deck and your deck and his deck, but 5 cards that you need to be removed most likely. Okay? Let's say this is on the field and Dimensional Prison. That's infinite possibilities right there, man. You have a monster that's coming back every turn. Or let's say you have DDD Survivor on the field and you want to synchro summon something because you have other cards on the field. And now, mind you, I only use 2 synchro monsters. This one I really don't use, but I only put it there just in case when they bring Tag Duel back. You know, I want the idea of it back. But this is a synchro monster that goes perfectly with this deck. His name is Angel of Zera. This card gains 100 attack for each of your opponent's banished cards. You want to banish as many cards as possible from your opponent's deck. Then during your standby phase, if your card is banished, special summon it. Come on, for real? Like, yo, it doesn't say, and if you read it closely and carelessly, during the standby phase of the next turn, after this card was banished, special summon the banished card. So, for example, you synchro summon him, boom. Your opponent activates Mirror Force, now he's in the graveyard. You activate Soul Release, remove him from play. Your next standby phase, he's coming back. No, actually, I said that wrong. Hit your opponent's standby phase, he's coming back. Like, come on, man. You have Dimensional Prison on the field, he gets destroyed. Oh, he don't go to graveyard. Where'd he go? Remove from play. On your turn, he's coming back. It's the perfect card for the perfect remove from play deck. Then these two guys, my main monsters, man, my powerhouses. This motherfucker, Green Maju de Iza. He gains 400 attack for every card you have removed from play. If you were to activate my number one card that I use against strong decks, like people who use strong decks, when you take 3,000 points or more damage from one attack, you can activate this card, remove from play all monsters in each person's deck and graveyard. What the fuck? Think about that shit real quick. You remove from play all monsters from your deck and your opponent's deck. Then look at the fact that you have 2 Necro Phases in your deck, so that's another 10 cards. Just now, you probably removed from your opponent's deck about 30 cards from their deck. And if they only use a 40 card deck, they're fucked. Because they already have 5 in their hand, so they're down to 5 cards. Most likely 6. You just basically destroyed their deck. And let's say you have this card in your hand. The perfect play of 5 cards against somebody who uses monsters that are just out OP power would be this card, this card, this card. 3 spell cards, 2 continuous okay, well, let me say that differently. Normal spell card, a continuous spell card, a field spell, and him. Any other card in your hand, it won't even matter anymore. Just think about it real quick. He does that, and then you do this. Let's say he attacks with fucking Red Dragon Archfiend. That's 3,000. Boom. You just remove from play all his monsters from his deck, all monsters from the graveyard. Boom. And you just gained about like 40-50 counters. Hello. You can summon any monster you want now from the fucking remove from play area. Anybody. You can summon him. Well, not him, but him. It don't even matter. Then, Green Maju, when you summon him, think about that for 1 second with me. 400 attack points for each card removed. I have 31 monsters in my deck. So that's going to be monsters removed. Then it's going to be 10 more cards. So that's going to be 40 times 4. Are you serious? 16,000 attack points? Devastation alone. That's nothing. He has no attack points. So he can't boost anything. So if someone wants to activate an effect that negates it or whatever, boom, yeah, okay, he's done, right? Boom. That one turn. Now, him. Or let's say someone steals him from you, right? Oh, yeah, they activate Snatch Steal. That bitch card. Okay? Snatch Steal. He steals him from you. Boom. He's not going to be as powerful because, you know, you probably have more cards removed from them than him. Okay, boom. But, let's say you summon him from using Chaos Zone. He already has 15. You add 3 times the 15 he already has. So let's say 3 times 40. That's 12,000 plus that. Your opponent most likely won't have as many cards removed from play as you because you run 2 Necro Faces. Boom, and you run 31 monsters. He probably doesn't run 31 monsters. Just do the do the math, and you'll see. You will destroy your opponent. Or let's say you have, for example, you say you have Dimensional Fissure on the field. You have Golden Homunculus, Soul Absorption, and Necro Face. and Chaos Zone. Okay, boom. Let me see what else to say. Oh, and you have this guy right here. DDD's type out in the field. Place Necro face down and face down defense position. I know, right? Why would you do that? Don't let him know what your card is. It's Necro face. You waiting for an ability to happen. Don't. And even if you have like an awesome ass hand, and sometimes you like for example, I do some shit like where if I have a good hand and I don't feel like going first because I accidentally lose the rock paper scissors, I don't do anything. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I know that's not a good thing because you could possibly lose in one turn, but no. It is a good thing, man. Don't let your opponent know what you're doing. He doesn't know that you don't have anything. He doesn't know you do have anything. Just focus. Boom. When he goes, he does whatever the fuck he does. Boom. Then you go. Let's say you have him on the field, right? Boom. And let's say place Necro face down. Dimensional Prism activates. Boom. That's 5 cards. Plus herself. Okay, boom. And you had Chaos on the field. So now that's probably about 4 or 5 counters on that card right there, maybe even 6. Activate it. Well, you don't even have to activate it, honestly, because he's coming back. Then just sacrifice his ass, and then he'll be back even though it's the end of the turn. He'll still come back even though you sacrifice him, because no matter what happens, when he's removed from the field, he comes back. That's it. Point blank period. When he's removed from the field, he comes back at the end of the turn, no matter what. That's it. Now, if your opponent activates cards that say card effects cannot be activated in response to this card, then for that period of the time, at that point, he can't come back. But if there's no way they activate it at the end of the turn, they'd activate it in the sense of destroying it or, canceling it out type stuff, then you wouldn't be able to do it. But for him to for it to happen during the end phase, your opponent's not activating anything. There's no way. He's not activating it. So just go. Do it. The opportunity is right there. Now, if at some point where this deck really struggles, where I've caught myself struggling, is I've had Goblin Zombie in my hand, probably 2 of them, and DDD Sprite, and maybe, Black Dragon Clossiper, and White Dragon Whisperer in my hand, and then this, Dark Resonator. Okay, Dark Resonator, he's in this deck. Oh, if you haven't noticed, Dark Armed Dragon's in this deck. Why? Think about it. If you get 1 Goblin Zombie in your hand, and then you have him in your hand, just do the Goblin Zombie then. I know the deck's about remove from play, but focus on that for that turn, and you have 3 destructions of your opponent's deck immediately. Then also, if you have Chaos Zone on the field or Soul Absorption, using his ability will help you actually. Because when you remove from play 1 card, boom, that's a counter plus 500 life points each time you do that. See what I'm saying? This deck's it's perfect, honestly. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. It's actually a perfect deck. Now, talking like cheese monsters, it's a little bit jumbled, but focus on this real quick. If you have Chaos Zone on the field with 8 counters and shit, and hope that your opponent has nothing but monsters that can't be destroyed, and you're in a stalemate or whatever, boom, and he has more cards on the field than you, summon this motherfucker right here. Evil Swarm Extinction Knight. The nigga is undefeatable unless you negate his ability. But guess what? His ability is a quick effect. So when you summon him to the field, wait for your opponent to try to stop you. Then hit him with that shit. The moment you hit him with that shit after he tries to stop you, it will shut him down because it's a chain effect. Basically, he'll go first, then you'll immediately go right after him, and his effect will never happen. Unless it's a counter trap, that's the only way he can stop your quick effect. It'll destroy everything on the field except himself. But guess what? When you kill Chaos Zone while it has counters, you can add a card in your deck, a light or dark monster from your deck to your hand, whose level is less than or equal to the number of counters. Obviously, if you just destroyed a light and dark monster, you're gonna go for Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. And the fact that most likely give or take. When he tries to summon again to attack you. Oh well, wait, guess what? It won't matter because his effect can activate on your opponent's battle phase even then. As long as your opponent has more cards than you, you can activate this effect every time. Shit, honestly, if you wanted to make a deck around this nigga where he just destroys cards, you put him in a deck with Yabel. Put him inside of a deck with Yabel, and you could resummon Yabel's forms every freaking time you felt like it. You could go from Yabel to the Yabel Ultimate, to Yabel the Terra Incarnate, to Yabel the Ultimate Nightmare instantly. In just one turn. Like, that's it, man. It's crazy. Then him, he can purposely remove one. He can remove one monster on the field. It doesn't have to be your opponent's monster. Let's say you're losing the duel. He has a monster that's way stronger than 3,000 attack points, and he only has about 4 cards left in his deck because of everything you've been doing. What you gonna do? Activate Chaos Zone or summon something, aka Necroface, to the field, or summon Necroface face down on the field. Yes, Envoy can destroy anything, any monster. It doesn't say what position. It says target one monster. Target your Necroface. Remove that bitch. Send 5 cards to remove from play area. Excuse me, I didn't even say sorry. Remove that card from play, and pow, boom, instantly. You just put yourself in a victory spot, basically, because now you just removed his 4 cards. 5 cards are yours, and then you can either end your turn or look for something else fun to do, just for fun, because he can't do shit. You can just look for fun. And if he has no face downs, oh, you really won then, man. That's it. Game over. You won. Just look for something fun to do. If there's nothing fun to do, end your turn and watch the spark begin. That's it. And not only him, I got Chaos Sorcerer, for example, who can also back you up. If you need a card removed from play, Chaos Sorcerer can do it as well. But Chaos Sorcerer needs the card to be faced up. So, if you summon a Necroface, remember, all the cards that were removed are going to come back. So you might not want to do it. It's up to you on that one. You might not want to do it. But if you need the life points, if you're the one losing and you need the life points, do it. Do it. That's 5,000 life points if Soul Absorption is on the field. So do it. That's another 2 turns, maybe 1 turn, or maybe even 3 turns if it fits. So do it. Then there's DDD Assailant. Everyone knows him. Your opponent thinks he all that. You know, he destroys your face down or face up, depending on how you want to use him. And boom, that monster's coming with him. And it doesn't matter if the card says cannot be destroyed or targeted by card effects. It's not targeting it. It's just taking it. See, the thing about wordplay is some of these cards always say certain wordplay that fucks them up a little bit. But, no, not these cards. Now this motherfucker right here, you have to do this perfectly. You want to send this nigga removed from play area, you got to do it right. You can't do it in the sense of like, okay, it says when this card is removed from play, you can select one face-up card on the field and destroy it. Boom, right? Okay? Your opponent controls. Well, how you gonna do that, right? How you gonna do it without messing up? Anyway, like this. For example, if you have Dimension of Prison on the field, and when he's destroyed, that counts. If you activate Dark Core and remove him from play, that counts. But if you activate DDD Sprite's ability and remove him from play, the chain is too quick. How do I say no? The chain is too slow, so it won't work. He needs, I don't know, for some reason it's like spell cards to do it. Now, or if you have Banisher of the Radiance or Banisher of the Light on the field, and then he somehow gets removed from play, that will work. That will work. I'm telling you, people, this is where it's at, man. My deck is basically perfected, man. Honestly, like, I love my deck. The only thing I thought differently that I should have done is it maybe added an Xyz level 2 in here somewhere. And why do I say level 2 Xyz or a rank 2 Xyz? Because of DDD Scout Plane. Now, no matter what, when he's removed from play, they're coming back. And it makes me think, okay, so if I put this as an overlay unit, they'll come back anyway if I remove them from play, regardless. So, if they do leave, what rank 2 would be good in this deck? And I looked, and there was not really many rank 2s that are okay with the chaos form of the deck that I make. What else was I gonna say? But yeah, finally, honestly, the only way around this deck is XC summoning. See, when you XC summon monsters, your overlay units do not count as monsters on the field or cards sent to the graveyard. See, for example, Dimensional Fissure, if you had this on the field, and you had an XC's monster on the field, and let's say you got rid of an overlay unit, it wouldn't count as, like, for example, like if you just wanted to send a, like, you know, detach an overlay unit, and since it's a monster, technically, it should go remove from play, right? No, it's not a monster, because once it becomes an overlay unit, it is classified as an overlay unit. It's no longer a monster, it's an overlay unit. But if you have Banisher of the Light or Banisher of Radiance on the field, then it counts, because they specify any card. So overlay units are cards. You see what I'm saying here? The difference is any monster versus any card. They send anything, he sends specifics. You see what I'm saying? Honestly, use this deck how y'all feel like y'all want to use it. And then I also put this card in here. You know, this card's from the Trap Tricks family. I put this card in here because I'm so used to people trying to exceed something. You know, they'll summon a monster and then special summon another monster and then special summon another monster. Like, for example, I don't know if you ever played this game yet, but Yuma, he will like to summon. He'll use Goblin Summoner or whatever, the plane dude, and then the plane will summon another level 4, and then he'll use the reptile in his hand, and the reptile will summon himself. So that's 4 level 4s, and 3 level 4s. Sorry, 3 level 4s, and then boom, that's a nice ass monster coming at you. That's either Utopia, that's Ragnar Zero, that's Silent Honor Arc, or that could even be like something better than what I'm just mentioning here. It could be some crazy shit. It can be Sky Blaster. It can be anyone, and that's the true problem of the deck, though. The fact that it can be anyone, you won't know what to do. You'll be stunned a little bit, actually, to be exact, because thinking that, like, for example, how do I say it? For example, if he summons, here we go. If he special summons the Tricky, for example, and then he activates a card that raises the Tricky's level to like level 8 or whatever, boom. And then, oh no, even better, you attack your opponent, he activates Trichodia, he summons Trichodia, Trichodia's level is 10, boom. He has cards in the graveyard, strong cards, right? So let's say he takes the level of a level 8, level 9 or whatever, boom. And then he activates Level Eater from the graveyard, subtracting a level from the monster on the field, so now it's a level 8, then Level Eater summon, activates Queen's Galaxy's Light. Each of those monsters now become level 8s that aren't level 8, so now he could possibly have 3 level 8s on his field, 2 level 8s on his field. He's gonna summon something huge as fuck. It's gonna have more than 2,000 attack points, no matter what. What do? You negate that monster's effects. Now, mind you, if it's Silent Honor Arc, for example, you think it wouldn't work on it, but it does, because it negates its effects. It negates the part where it can't be destroyed, and kills it. It's the perfect card. I use this card, and I use my Trap Tricks deck, okay, with these cards in it, against somebody who used the scrap deck. He tried to scrap OP me, and it did not work. I just kept destroying his cards, destroying, with all my little Trap Tricks traps and all that shit. And since I could activate them from my hand, it was perfect. Boom. But we ended up getting to a stalemate where there was only 2 cards left in his deck, because he had no more scrap monsters, so his field spell couldn't summon anything. And all his tuners, I removed them from play. I removed them from play using Bottomless Trap Hole and other cards like Chaos Hole and Dark Light Hole. Yeah. Boom. Other than that, that card works perfectly in this deck because there aren't many monsters that are less than 2,000 besides, excuse me, besides Evil Swarm Extinction Knight, they wouldn't summon that. Okay, here we go. Still Swarm Roach, or you know, some merciful character, but they wouldn't put that card in their deck unless it made sense in their deck. So you got to look at the person's deck. Once you see their first monster or second monster, most likely, you know what deck they're running. That's it. You know. There's no way you cannot know what deck they're possibly running. There's no way you can't figure out a strategy that they may be running. Because it's in your face. You see it, you know it. If you know Yu-Gi-Oh!, you know the cards, you know it. Sometimes that over knowledge does get you, but I know it. I'm always ready for it for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm always ready for it. Well, damn, I've been talking about my deck. Alright, well that was 30 minutes. That was 30 minutes of me just blabbing about my deck. But you know, if you like what you heard, you like what you see, make the deck, man. Look, just get a good look at the cards, you know, tell me what you think when you make the deck and how's it playing out for you and how does it work. If you put some comments, put some likes, whatever, do what you want to do. Thank you.
Volume up. Volume up.